I'm your host, Josie Van Dyke, and I am sitting next to the queen of mom talk, Taylor Frankie Paul, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to Weekly Trash.
Thank you. It's been a few years, or a couple years.
Yeah, round 2. Well, you were supposed to come back at some point with Dakota. Do you remember that?
I do, and you were pissed.
And the day of, like hours before, you're like, I'm so sorry. Me and Dakota were in a
it
fight.
was a really bad day.
Yeah.
Like, had I came,
It would have been bad.
you would have been like, we're deleting this entire thing.
Especially with Dakota. Like,
Oh, yeah. He wouldn't have shown up, but
it would have been bad.
yeah,
So,
I do apologize again. I forgot about that one.
no, it's actually great because now we get to talk all about everything that's happened since the last time you were on,
Goodness.
which 2 weeks after that podcast episode is when you got arrested.
Okay. I didn't put that together until I saw, what we were talking
the layout.
about.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It
I
was
did not notice that.
Literally 2 weeks later.
Oh,
And
that's
your
actually
life changed.
Yeah. For like ever, obviously. Like, it's changed so much, but I didn't realize it was right before that.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, you're like, delete my podcast. But Taylor,
delete.
I have no association with her.
What are you talking about? No. Today's episode is brought to you by Cozy Earth. You guys know how much I love Cozy Earth. I've talked about them before. I've talked a lot about their towels. I love their loungewear. And so I'm so excited because now I'm upgrading all of my bedding to Cozy Earth. We're getting a Cozy Earth duvet, comforter, all the things. I want it to be as cool and comfortable as possible for the summer, especially because I'm getting my tummy tuck and I'm already going to be super uncomfortable and trapped in my bed for like weeks. So I wanted to make sure my bed was my oasis and the most beautiful, stunning, comfortable, cool place possible. So of course I got Cozy Earth's bedding set. And I want you guys to try the bedding set. So you guys can go to CozyEarth.com and use code WeeklyTrash for 40% off your order. They have a 100-night sleep trial, so try them during the hottest nights of the year. And if you're not in love with them, you can return them hassle-free. Trust me, you don't want to because they're that good, but it's a 10-year warranty on all bedding products. That's a decade of cool quality sleep. So sleep cooler, lounge lighter, and stay cozy just like me this hot summer. And go to CozyEarth.com and use code WeeklyTrash for 40% off. And thank Cozy Earth for sponsoring today's episode and keeping me comfortable during my tummy tuck era. Sorry to interrupt, but today's episode is brought to you by Minky Couture. You guys know how much I love a good, soft, cuddly blanket. You guys have seen me and my guests snuggle up in our Minky blankets. We are huge Minky Couture fans over here. Everyone needs to have something as cozy as Minky in their home. There is nothing like coming home after a long day and cuddling up with a soft Minky Couture blanket. They are so soft, so luxurious. It feels like you're snuggling a cloud, okay? Minky Couture has the largest selection of colors, patterns, and sizes on the market. Whether you want like a fun, loud, crazy print or a classic chic color, they have it all. They are the creators of the original Hugs blanket, a double-sided, stretchy, and plush style that literally hugs you back. By far my favorite blanket that Minky has to offer. I gift them to everybody. One thing I love about Minky Couture is it's a female-founded business started by a mother who wanted to provide luxurious comfort to her daughter during a tough time. Since 2009, Minky Couture has been able to bring comfort and luxury to homes all over the world. Passionate about giving back to their community, they give over 30,000 mini Minkies to NICUs across the country every year. As a fellow NICU mom, I received my own little mini Minky, and it was such a kind, generous gift while I was in the hospital during such a stressful time. And it meant so much to me as a new-time mom and as a third-time mom. Literally every single one of my babies, I got a mini Minky blanket. And lucky for you guys, I partnered with Minky Couture to bring a comfort and luxury into your home by offering listeners an exclusive 50% off discount. That's right, 50% off at checkout when you use code WeeklyTrash. So go to softminkyblankets.com and use the code WeeklyTrash for 50% off your next purchase. And treat yourself to the best blanket ever and follow them on Instagram for additional deals and updates at Minky Couture. Thanks, Minky, for sponsoring today's episode. It was crazy though, because on that episode, I obviously don't want to have you like relive that day and talk about that day because you've done that plenty on so many other podcasts. So like, we're not going to do that.
Okay.
But there's one question I do want to ask you because on the podcast episode we did, you said you felt like you had to choose between Dakota or alcohol because Dakota was an addict.
Yes.
And you basically said, I'm going to choose to be sober. I'm not going to drink alcohol. And then 2 weeks later, you get arrested, completely belligerent drunk. And so what changed? Like, what made you choose, I guess, alcohol over Dakota?
I do remember at that time I was like, okay, yeah, I am going to clean up my life. And it wasn't like I'm going to go completely sober forever. I don't think that was my intention. But I did get asked to go to a girls' night, and she was like, hey, like, you can just come over. It's just some girls. And for me, I was like going through a really hard time just in general. So I was like, you know what? I should go out with girls. I'm always with my boyfriend. Like, let's get out. And I was feeling very in between because I had my kids that night. So that is where I was like, I have them, but also I never go out with girls. So I ended up going out, obviously. Yeah, dressed up as my ex-husband. Like, it was a nightmare, obviously, as we know. But I ended up drinking, and I remember feeling so sad. So I remember going, and I just wanted to numb the pain. And I think that was like the issues because I numbed the pain, and alcohol lowers your guard to fill, unfortunately. And I felt it all. And I remember Dakota came and picked me up. I was sad, and I remember screaming in the car, crying of pain of like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I did this. Like, I was like just in so much pain. I'm just like, sorry, it's like hard to talk about still to this day. Thank you. I definitely will cry probably the whole podcast. I'm just emotional, but yeah, I just remember being in a lot of pain emotionally. And so I ended up getting home, and then it turned to anger because I think I put a lot of blame on the things Dakota and I were going through, which obviously there's a way deeper wound there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't realize my daughter was in the room or in the living room. I thought she was upstairs in her room. Obviously I was throwing things, as we know. I threw a chair. Nothing was ever aimed at my daughter. I know there's been so many rumors. Like, I didn't know she was there for one. Indy was never hurt. All charges were dropped.
Yeah.
Regarding children. Yeah. So it was just, I know there's obviously rumors like it hit her. She was hurt. None of that was true. You can go look it up if they wanted to, really.
Oh, I'm sure they are looking it up.
Yeah, but all charges were dropped in that regard. Not obviously due to Dakota, but yeah, it was one of the worst nights of my life because obviously, like, my daughter was awake. She saw, and I wasn't like fully there, obviously, but as the night went on, the more sober I was like getting. But I watched the first episode of the season 1 of our show, and I'm like, it was really hard to watch because I'm like, you can just like see I'm in so much pain, like emotionally, and not justifying any of that night, but like, yeah, there was so much like going on, and I think it was just like my breaking point, and a wake up call for sure. Was immediately in therapy, immediately got on meds, everything I should have already been doing. Yeah. But yeah, it was a very big wake up call, and I've like, there's a lot of guilt that's always been there with that night for sure, due to my children and Dakota for sure, but mainly my children because like they didn't deserve any of that at all, you know? Yeah.
So. Do you think alcohol was the reasoning behind it? Do you think if there wasn't alcohol involved, maybe it would have escalated like that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, that wouldn't have gone the same had alcohol not been involved for sure. Like, that's what I'm saying is like, it sucks to have your worst, most embarrassing night broadcasted into the entire world, especially taking out of context. Like, no one knows what was going on. No one knew how that actually went. Like, so yeah, it sucks, and it was all over, and I was being called like this child abuser and all over, and there's nothing I could do other than like the facts that were out there. And so yeah, I literally was just in my bed for 2 months, depressed and feeling guilty, and I was like, I'm such a shitty person. But it really hurt because I'm a really like passive mom. Like, I'm a really good, well, at that time, not the best mom, obviously, but like, I'm passive. I'm very just really easygoing as a mother. And so to be called like an abuser was like obviously the worst thing I could hear and furthest thing from the truth. Like, not anything remotely close. If anything, I lack discipline with my kids because I'm so relaxed. So that one was really hitting me. It wasn't true. So yeah, that was a really hard one. That was my rock bottom. And forever, I hope that will be the worst that I go through because I can't imagine worse than that.
No. You're in Dakota's relationship has been very rocky, very toxic, very off and on. Like we just said, you were supposed to come podcast and you guys had a huge fight before. Huge fight led to arrest. Like you guys have had a lot of fights.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously with the show, we saw the conversation with Jenna and how the timeline wasn't right and how he was lying. But before that came to light, what were the main issues that you guys were having?
I would say for me that like I always sensed something was off in our relationship. As a woman, we do. We know when something is off. So I was literally fighting a battle with myself of like, my intuition or God, whatever you want to call it, your higher self being like, something is not right. You are being lied to. It was in my mind all the time. And so for me, I was literally like, but then Dakota was like so reassuring, like, I promise you're safe. Like, it's all good. Like, you've just been through a lot. You're scared. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. Like, it's just in my head, I was just like always listening to him over myself.
Yeah.
And so our issues was like begging of like, just tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth. And it would escalate because I feel like I was obviously being lied to the whole time and I was spot on. And so I think.
But he kept denying it over and over again. Like when you would have these fights.
Oh yeah.
But the fight would start with you being like.
Fixating.
Like, are you sure? Like, I feel like you're lying. I feel like you're lying.
I feel it.
And then he would be like, no, I'm not. You're being crazy. Like almost gaslighting you.
Yes.
And it was just that same fight over and over again about Jenna.
And some others, yes.
And some others. Okay. Yeah. So it was multiple people and your gut was telling you something's off and you're lying to me. Mm-hmm. So that definitely justifies, I mean, your reaction to knowing he lied was justified just in general because that's not okay. But like the level of hurt you probably felt because you did know like in your gut for so long.
Yeah, since day one. And the thing is like, I will never justify the actions that I obviously took for one, the night of the arrest, but everything, the way like I treated him and I was always like, I was very hard obviously to date because I was always fixating on this shit. And so for me, I was very reactive to it. And I will never justify that behavior. That is on me only because I'm in control of how I react. That is what I am in control of. I'm not in control of anything of you, but for me, I am. So I will always hold accountability on the way I was and wasn't okay. But yeah, so I mean, it was a battle for sure because I was like fighting myself against like reassurance of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there is a lot of like, and I think because I was so broken at the time of meeting, and had I been, I guess, a little stronger, I don't think we would have dated, to be honest. I think the first lie, I think I would have left for sure because I'm usually one that tolerates like absolutely not.
And yeah, you tolerated a lot.
I did.
You guys broke up, got back together, broke up, got back together. And it was a constant thing. Like, how many times do you think you guys have broken up?
We actually only broke up, I think, officially 2 times ever.
Really?
Yeah.
So it was more just like unfollow each other.
Yeah, it was more like by the end of the night, we were still together. Like at our house.
Okay, so they're just little fights.
Yes, I would say there was one in December. I made a TikTok about we broke up literally 2 days. And then there was one in the summer, right when I was like, before I found I was pregnant for like, I would say 5 days. And those are the only 2 official like breakups.
Gotcha. So it was more just like hot and cold.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
When you guys decide that you want to have a baby together, what's that conversation like? Because again, you know that you're hurting. You know that you're not fully healed.
Mm-hmm. The first one, okay, so I always track. I don't use birth control. I never have actually ever. I've always tracked my cycles, and it's always worked for me. I wasn't tracking when I first met Dakota, so of course that was a risk we were taking. Yeah. I knew that. And then I had my ectopic pregnancy, and then I had my chemical pregnancy. The more you miscarry, the more you crave it. I can't speak for all women, but I think some can maybe relate to that. Oh, yeah. So I did want a baby, and I don't know if it was because I was just so brokenhearted. Like I knew that maybe it would help me like become better, or I don't know what it was subconsciously, but I wanted a baby. And so when we did get pregnant, like for me, it wasn't no shock. I wasn't preventing it, wasn't tracking, or wasn't tracking. But the thing is I wanted to marry Dakota. I had planned, like, even though it was so toxic, I was like, thinking in my head, I can get, like, this is a lot of my trauma I just need to work through. Like, I love him. I want to marry him. But there was always that gut feeling. So, and then obviously when things came to surface, I was like, oh my gosh, like, thank goodness I never got married, you know? I would be getting divorced again right now. But there was a part of me that really thought it was just, you know, myself that was feeling all these things that I was like, "Ugh, I just need to get through it. Like, I love him. I want him no matter what. Like, besides girls. Girls was my number one thing. If there's any secrets with any girls out there, that is the one thing I will walk away from. I can get through almost anything.
Yeah.
Because I love you. And I told him this over and over. If there's anything with the girl out there, I promise. I say it on the show.
Yeah.
100,000%, I will leave you. Baby or not, married or not, I will leave. Mark my words. And here we are. Today. I left him the day I found out about Jenna. And I said, you're moving out all your stuff. And we have never gotten back together since that day. Officially, have I slept with him?
Yeah.
Hooked up. Thought we could do whatever. I've never gotten back with him, though, officially since that day. And I'm actually shocked.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. There was a lot of back and forth in my head. Yeah. Obviously.
For sure. But because like you said, you guys have a child together.
Yeah.
You're going to be in each other's lives forever. And I know that you and your ex-husband have a really good co-parenting situation. Mm-hmm. Do you and Dakota have that as well?
We're not there yet. Okay. No, there's very heightened emotions, I think, because I think Dakota, if you were to ask him, he would want this to work.
Yeah.
I don't, and it's not happening for me. It's still a hard pill. I feel like that hasn't completely swallowed that. No matter what, I wanted him. That's what sucks is like, oh my gosh, I wanted you to be my husband, but I actually don't tolerate this. And I made it very crystal clear that I wouldn't. And so I'm not, as much as it hurts me.
Yeah.
Like, this is hurting me to walk. I didn't want this. Yeah. And again, he has his valid side of everything, and that's his story to tell. But for me, it's just like, I would never feel peace ever again laying next to you. So, yeah. People are always like, well, it was before your date. It's not that situation. It's the principle of it.
It's the lie.
It's the lie for 2 years as I begged for it. Like, what is not clicking? It's the principle of it. And that's like not the only thing I've dealt with. So
right. There's more behind the story.
More obviously to that. So yeah. I've told them so there in the beginning it was very back and forth. And I think the more that I learned, the more that I was like, oh yeah, absolutely not. So yeah, it was confusing. And I think us being intimate was very confusing. He held on to that. I was like, I have something.
Well, and I think that's what your parents were kind of saying in that barbecue, which we'll talk about that scene. But like, they were like, you're giving him this hope that's not there, because in your brain, you were telling yourself, I'm not doing this again. But like you said, it's hard for you because you do care about him and you do have feelings, and he is the father of your son. So it's this battle, this internal battle.
It's a heart and mind.
Yeah.
They're not aligned.
And so, of course, there are moments where Dakota thinks, I might have a chance. But in your head, you're like, there is no chance.
Yeah.
And so to be able to really tell him, like, there is no chance, go find someone else. That is a very hard thing for you to say when you're still hurting.
Yeah.
But is that how you feel now? Like, go find someone else, let me go?
Yeah, I haven't put it in the words of go find someone else. It's been more like, I will never get over these things. Yeah. I'm a fixator. I will always fixate on it. Now I'll always be awake wondering about what else. And so for me, that's where I'm like, this is not fixable for me. It could maybe be for other women. I'm not one of them. So it sucks. Those are due to my wounds now that that were there. And I made it so clear, like, I would not be able to overcome this if you do these certain things. And you did it. Yeah. You knew that. So I feel for you, like, because this won't ever happen now. But yeah, my heart loved him and wanted him, and we have a child. And so, yeah, it is not that easy to be like, peace out. And I haven't said, like, I just have been very clear that this isn't going to work. I will never feel peace with you. And I've been very reassuring on that.
When was the last time you guys were intimate?
Let's see.
Like, have you cut that off or not yet?
Yes, it has been cut off, but it wasn't like crazy long ago. Sorry, I'm trying to think. Around Stagecoach area.
Okay.
Obviously, we saw
because Stagecoach, everyone was like, oh, they're back together. They're back together. And I think a lot of people forget the dynamic you guys have, because not only do you have a kid together, but you're also on a reality show. You're doing things together. You have similar friends. You're in the same groups. Like, sometimes you get caught up in the moment and it feels familiar and it feels fun, and everyone else is kissing their husbands and their boyfriends, and you want to too.
Yeah. And honestly, I just lived in the present that day.
Yeah.
It might have been, it's around the premiere time too. So I don't know if that was the same weekend or the next, but that was around the same time. The premiere weekend, blue dresses.
Yes.
Around that time. So that has been our last time of being like intimate. And it hasn't been since. And like, even then, I think even during it, to be TMI, like I was just like, I can't do this.
Yeah. It felt off.
It was definitely like done.
Yeah.
In that last time. I was like, ooh, not the same anymore.
But that's kind of good that you felt that.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
if it didn't feel that way, then you almost crave it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There were some things that really helped cut that.
And I'm sure we'll see them in the future, possibly down the line, because you are on a reality show.
Yeah.
And your life is filmed all the time. Yeah. With Mom Talk, I love calling it Mom Talk, even though like I'm like, you guys are my friends, but like Mom Talk.
Yeah.
In the Mom Talk group, did anybody know fully what was going on behind closed doors during all of this? Did you confide in any of them?
There were some that knew more for sure, but no one has ever known what happens behind closed doors ever.
Who has? Has anybody?
My therapist probably knows the most.
Yeah.
Obviously, like that's who I feel safe in confiding in. But other than her, that's the only person.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like he has confided in anybody?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think he has. I couldn't tell you the extent of what he's said, but for sure. Yeah.
So in an alternate universe, if Jenna never came clean, if Macy never got the anonymous message, where do you think you guys would be right now? Because like you said, you deep down knew something was off. So you guys were always fighting about it.
Yeah.
Do you think you could have made it work? But again, you would be being lied to. So it's not like a good scenario, but where do you think you guys would be if you still didn't know?
Exact same. Because there's that would never go away.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you want to call it, but like it's a voice saying this is not where you're supposed to be. Like, this isn't right. So he would still be just like craving what he wants, but like knowing he needs to come clean. And so it would have never worked, because that feeling won't ever go away until you're officially being honest. Right. So same spot, unfortunately. But I think one of us would have got exhausted enough to be like, this is not working. Like, we were even almost there before all this came out, which thankfully will fasten the process.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Back to the barbecue scene, because I want to talk about that. That scene got a lot of people defending you, being like, your parents are this. And I know you love your parents. I know your parents love you.
Yeah.
But it probably was really hard to watch back. And I'm sure in that moment, it was so frustrating. You seemed extremely frustrated. Has your dad specifically apologize to you and maybe even have a real man-to-man conversation with Dakota since?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
My dad apologized that night, that very night. It was like I'm sorry if that like came off. I just think in that moment it was, he could have taken a different approach, but my family is very blunt, and to an extent that there was a point made there. I think they just could have said it differently. Yeah. I think we can all agree to that. But it was a 60-second clip that people got, and it's just not how my parents are. They're my biggest supporters. People are like, oh, Taylor's true enemies are her family. Absolutely not. Like, they're the ones on the floor while I'm crying with me and holding me and always have my back. So like, it was hard to watch the hate they got, for sure. I was like, you guys you can't look at it. Like, don't look at it. I can't look at it.
Yeah.
Because it'll hurt me. Not true. But I did warn them before this happened. Like, it could be hard. Like, this is how it's going to be portrayed. Like, I did give them some warnings, and my family is very tough. So they've been able to handle it quite well. But in that moment, I was frustrated. I was hurt. Again, I had just had a baby. I was learning new things, and they didn't have full context. So they were going off only what they knew of, like, he did this before they met.
Yeah.
That's what they have. And they're like, you're gonna risk this all of your family for that. Like, it wasn't making sense to them, which valid. That would be, I would understand why you would think that. Like, but obviously as time went on, the more they learned, they understood. And so, yeah, my dad, he's a great guy. He's raised me since I was so little. And, yeah, obviously we all bawled watching it. I was like crying because it was like a really hard scene to watch. Like, true emotions in there, and they were going off only what they knew. And so I feel bad for them that it was pinned that way, because had they known the full story and context, that convo would have been completely different. It probably would have been, their feelings towards Dakota, let's just say, are not the same.
Yeah, your mom hinted at that because your mom was just on. And she had said something that was really interesting, that Jeremy, at least from her point of view, she felt like Jeremy, which is your dad, felt like he couldn't discipline you growing up the way he could your other siblings. Did you feel that growing up? Did you ever feel a disconnect with him ever?
For sure. I think even during the swinging thing the swinging scandal that came out, he was like, look, I've always been sort of like back off, because he had a stepdad growing up, and he was like, I remember telling my stepdad, you're not my dad. I don't care. I don't love, like, he would like be mean, and he never wanted to hear those words out of my mouth. So he was like, I feel like I kept like a distance. So like I wasn't overstepping, and I didn't ever want you to say those things to me. So yeah, I definitely was like, he wasn't as hard on me as he was the others, but there is a bond between obviously him and my sister. I don't know if that's like a subconscious thing I saw or what it is necessarily, but yeah, definitely different. But I don't think I realized that till I got older. And he never really noticed it till the swinging thing came out and was like, oh yeah, I was a little different, to you, but like trying to be in the best way. Like, I just didn't want to overstep, and I never wanted to hear the words of like, you're not my dad, because he is my dad.
Well, yeah, he adopted you at 2. Yeah. So to me, I'm like, no, he has every right to feel like that's a boundary that he can have with you, because you're his daughter. Like, you don't remember life before him.
Yeah. And those are coming from his own wounds of like his childhood. And he lost his dad, I think it was 8 or 9 years old. And so both parents lost a parent very young. My parents have their own trauma. And that generation, of course, is like, rub some dirt on it, we'll be okay. And that's their generation. That's how they were raised. So like I have empathy for them, because they have so much of their own things they go through, and no one has a book of how to do this. And they're learning as they go. And when you do a lot of therapy, you just learn to have empathy for people, because they have their own story and their own trauma. And that is why they are the way they are. Does it justify every action? No. But does it explain people a little bit better? If you start to like understand, the more you understand, their actions have nothing to do with you and all to do with them, it has you empathize for people.
Absolutely.
Same thing with Dakota. Like, as all these things that have happened, I'm like, I just feel for you, because you must be really, really hurt inside. A sad little boy that just wants to be loved and insecure. And I probably have all the same wounds, a sad little girl inside that just wants to be loved, insecure, and you're just scared. And those children in us cannot do it for each other, and that's okay. I think there'll be people for us specifically that will help with that. It's clashing.
Yeah, it's just not going to work.
It's not going to work. So yeah.
More with your family though, because when your mom just came on and you said that you learned something new from that podcast episode, that your dad was even there when you were born. Like, there's so many things about your dad that you don't know about, that you didn't know about. Your biological dad, not Jeremy.
Yeah.
Do you wish your mom would have done anything differently? Like we said, it's your first time being a parent, your first time in this situation. You don't know. But that was shocking for me to hear, that like the first time you met Brian was unplanned, out of the blue, and also the first time that you kind of realize, oh, that's a biological dad. Like, Jeremy's not my dad. Like, that's very confusing.
Yeah.
And like you said, you guys don't talk about it. You didn't talk about it. Do you wish you would have?
Probably. Yeah, a little bit more. I think that very day, 4 years old, 5 years old, whatever it was. I don't remember that age besides that day. That was the first and last time I'd ever remembered meeting him. I guess he held me when I was a baby, so obviously I don't remember that. But yeah, and I just remember like I remember him looking down at me and being like, what's up? Like, there was like, it was just so odd. And obviously it sticks with me because of how odd it was.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand like why my mom was like wanting me to meet this guy. It was a restaurant. It was just so casual. And then I just go hop onto my booth and I was like, oh, that was weird, whatever.
Yeah.
And it didn't obviously click years later. And then my mom, they used to joke with me like, oh yeah, you're adopted, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, huh, that's so funny. And they're like, no, you are. And like,
wait, shut up. How old were you when those kind of jokes were happening?
Young, like I don't know. It was pretty young. What I can remember, 8 or 9 is I think when it kind of was clicking, and then they did sit me down and be like, no, Jeremy isn't like your dad. But like parents have joked about like you're the adopted kid, or like maybe all families don't do that, but mine's pretty like I don't know,
sarcastic and
yes, humor, or maybe too much of like humor. I don't know, bluntness,
all of that.
Yeah, but they told me, and then it didn't still faze me. I was like, oh okay, like. I don't know if it was a subconscious thing, like I don't know this guy that you're telling me about, so how can I miss him?
Yeah.
I'm still so young. The older I got, I think the more curious I was like, like, who is it? What does he look like? And yeah, I don't know. It's really weird how we all kind of ignored it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, and my mom never really talks about it either. And I like asked her, and like the things on the podcast, I didn't know, like he was there in the hospital, came to visit me. He did show up one night to my grandma's house. She told me that like he was banging on the door and he was like, let me see my baby. And I don't know if he was drunk or what he was on. He's like, let me see my baby. He wrote me a letter of like, I would never be the person that I should be for you. I don't know if I've ever seen that letter, to be honest, or if I have, I forgot it.
Really?
But yeah, it's really weird. Yeah, she's never really talked about it. I never really asked about it. It's kind of just been this weird thing that's like, maybe some subconscious like issues, obviously, that are like, well, he didn't want me and love me, so like, but I had a dad that did. So I don't know, really, like how that's played a part. But I definitely have the daddy issues of being scared to be like left or not loved. And so definitely I think there's issues from that.
Yeah.
And not blaming anyone. I think just naturally, I think when your parent doesn't want you, there are feelings there, no matter if you're like looking at it or not.
Has his parents ever wanted to be in your life? Have you met your biological grandparents?
No, my grandma, if you call her my grandma, his mom follows me on Instagram.
Okay.
She's DM'd me a couple times of like, that's cute. And I was like, I wrote her recently. I was like, would you ever be like interested in meeting so I can like ask you so many questions about Brian?
Yeah.
And she was like, absolutely, I would love that. And then I was like, okay, like, where do you live? Like,
let's do it.
Never responded. So I don't
really.
Yeah, I don't know. But weird thing is his brother married one of my mom's cousin. So they're still in the family.
Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah, but we're not like close with them or anything. They live in Colorado still, but it's just weird that they're still in the family.
There's still connection.
Yeah, they're my first cousins and my third cousins.
Wow.
Yeah. I also, if he's had other kids out there, because
you don't know if he's had other kids?
We don't. My mom thinks he
Okay.
He did have other kids, which I have siblings out there, if that's the case.
Okay.
Yeah. So we don't know. I that would take some DNA testing of obviously all of us kind of like turning, because you know how you can turn it in and see?
Mm-hmm. Like 23andMe, those like DNA tests.
Yeah. So I was like wondering if they're out there. I don't know, because he did date a girl after, and he was with her for a while, and she has 2 kids. And so my mom always wondered, are any of them his kids? But we don't know.
How would you feel about that? Do you think that would be hard for you?
No. Again, it's like hard because it's like they're almost strangers to me. So no, but like it'd be kind of cool to like meet them and be like, oh my gosh, that's like an Aspen and Hunter to me.
Yeah, like do we look alike?
Yeah. Do we sound? Are we the same? I don't know. It'd be kind of cool because me and Aspen, you can tell we're sisters. Like we look alike, and I feel like we have the same voice. Like, so yeah, it'd be cool to meet others that are out there that are your siblings. So if you're out there,
if you're listening, you might be related to Taylor Frankie Paul. You never know. Speaking of just like childhood trauma and like working through all of that, you went to a facility with Jen during filming. You were going through a lot and you guys had posted about it. What made you decide that you needed to take a bigger step and like go somewhere and seek help?
It was like a a wellness retreat.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like an actual, like, it's not like a hospital or anything like that.
It's not like a psych ward type situation. Yeah, no.
No, not there yet. But
not there yet. No, Taylor, you're never going to be there, okay? We're not going to let that happen.
Oh, hey, there are some things I'm like, I don't know how people like go through things. And like, I'm just like talking trauma based, which I don't want to bring it up now, but I could tell you after. Not even about me, but just like moms.
Yeah.
But with, going to that, I think I hit like a place of, I'm like not doing okay mentally, and I could feel that, and I knew that, and I feel like I knew that I needed some like extra help in order to do another season. So for me, I'm like, it's so mentally exhausting, and people can call it scripted all they freaking want. For me, it is not scripted at all. What I'm sharing is so real. And obviously I have the entire, well, not the entire world, but it's nationwide if you want to see it, right?
Well, even if it was 100 people, it's a lot.
It's a lot to be like watch and then you're judged for it. And not that I really like cared. There's a point, but like it's just heavy. It's really heavy. And then not only that, you do some healing for it and then you watch it.
Yeah.
And then you're watching it and you're like, oh shit. Like obviously some of the scenes in the show, I'm like, oh my, like I was bawling and I'm like,
yeah.
And not even just for me, but for my friends. I'm like watching it and I was like, holy shit. Like, yeah, there's just like a lot of trauma there, and you're watching it back. And then obviously, guess what? We're going through interviews and we're going to talk about it all over again. Like it's happening, because trauma doesn't have a time.
Yeah.
So when you're in it, kind of like, just for an example, when I'm fixating on things, my body still thinks it's in 2022. You can still think that your trauma like thinks you're there still. So yeah, it's hard to navigate. And honestly, like, especially the more you put out there, the harder it is. The producer of the show literally says that. Yeah. Like, it is so hard. Like, try it and see how you do. Like, because it does look like, oh, extravagant. Like, you're doing all these things, these trips, the way it is. Like, you're going to meet people. It's like, isn't it so fun? No, it really isn't. Because if your life is like, usually behind the scenes for me, I'm dealing with something new all the freaking time that I'm never really like, I haven't really enjoyed it. Like, they're like, that's so cool you did that. I'm like, they really are some cool experiences. But if you're not happy in your home life, nothing matters. I mean, for me, it didn't. I'm like I would go put a smile on, go home and like cry. Like that is literally like how it's been, I think, for a really long time now. But it's getting better, I will say.
Yeah, because that doesn't sound like it's worth it.
Yeah, but it's not reality TV. I mean, it's not just the TV part.
Right,
it's
like you would already be going through that.
Yeah, like my life, due to my social media, like I've always been pretty open. So regardless, it's just another level for sure of audience. But I love it though too. Like I love it because I know it helps some people out there. Like for me, I remember when I was going through my ectopic pregnancy, I saw nothing on it. I remember researching it and I felt so alone, so isolated. I couldn't really tell anyone yet because I didn't want anyone to know. And then ectopics are pretty traumatic on the body and you're bleeding like crazy. I remember being so hormonal. I'm going through this new relationship. I'm post-divorce. Like I'm going through all of this alone. And I'm going on TikTok like, anyone talk about this. Like not a lot of people did. And so I was like, when does the bleeding stop? When does it stop hurting? Like it felt really alone. And so things like that, I go on now and I'm like very open with it, very detailed. So someone out there is like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, because had I seen a video of someone talking about it, I've been like, okay, that's normal.
Yeah, I can relate.
Yeah, like, oh, that is normal. Like it that can happen. And it took me a long time to get there. Like I was very satire. Like I was very surface level.
There's a ghost in the house.
There's a ghost in the house. We look good all the time. Like things are perfect. Like I did that. And I had to be very humbled. Like it humbled me. Everything I've gone through is like everything can be taken away in a snap of the fingers. And our producer also, I don't know if they show it. They show clips of our event we went to with him. But like humble yourself. Like because the show is done great. But like let me tell you, everything can be taken from you overnight. I've experienced that a few times now, actually. Yeah. So it has kept me very grounded and very humble. Like, thank you. I have this opportunity. Like, be kind to everyone. Be grateful for this time because it is going to end. Everything comes to an end. So, like, with that, I'm grateful for all the hard things I've gone through because at the back of my mind, I can be very like thankful through all of it. And I'm on no high horse. I'm not higher than anybody, not better than anybody. And like, I think it took what I went through to be able to do that and to empathize with people. Had I not, like, I would still be in my freaking phase. That phase of me was very self-centered, selfish. Like, I thought I was like cool. No. I'm like so glad I was humble, so thank you.
You're like, I need a little bit of humbling. But I also think it's okay and fair to say that like you love the show because you get to show people that they're not alone, but you also love the show because obviously a part of anybody who's in reality TV likes the spotlight.
Yeah.
Likes attention. You know, like anyone saying they don't is lying.
For sure.
Like,
oh yeah.
Nobody does reality TV and they're like, oh, I hate being filmed. I hate like, no, that part's really fun too. Yeah. But like you said, you know, you haven't really been able to enjoy the fun parts of it. Even when we went to the premiere, you were like, I was so disassociated the entire night. Like, I don't even remember half of it, you know, like
both premieres.
Yeah. Like that's really hard when you have all these fun experiences, but you don't get to actually live in them.
Yeah.
So in therapy, when you were at this facility, did you get tools to help navigate through this?
Yes, there was tools obviously given, but there was a lot of like how disassociated I get because we went to a disassociation, I would say, therapist.
Okay.
And she specializes in that and she works with horses, which was really cool. And I disassociate. So it's like insane, actually. Yeah. Everyone does on a spectrum, but like I would be brushing the horse and like, then I would ask, but like, is this, she's like, snap back, like where are you going, snap, and like every time she could tell it was like come back, and it was like holy shit, like I don't even notice how much I do it. I am aware now because of all the therapy I've been through. I can tell when I'm going through something really hard. I get to places and I'm like how'd I get here? I couldn't tell you. Or my sister will be standing there, I'm like, what did you just say for 5 minutes? Like I have no idea what you just said. Or my kids have been like, we're talking and I'm like, wait, what? I couldn't. Where do you go? Like you can see it in the show season 1.
Yeah. Were you like that before all the trauma in your life? No. So you never did that in high school? Or no.
This is all post. Like this is like I think it was too much back to back trauma.
Yeah.
I don't. My therapist says anyone that has gone through like the amount of trauma, because she obviously knows everything. So she's like, the amount that you've gone through, most people would have ended up in a mental hospital. The fact that you hadn't, not including your social media, is insane.
The millions and millions of people spectating on your life.
Yeah. So she was like, give yourself some grace because I assure you, like the amount back to back is a lot for someone to handle. And so I've tried to like give myself grace in certain things, but also certain things I do know are my own actions, consequences of my own actions. And I'm learning that. But also there are things that were not in my control that I have to also consider. I am my worst critic for sure.
Yeah, you said that on the show that you don't feel like you deserve a lot of the opportunities and things that you're getting. And I'm sure the therapist tried to give you tools on that too. Like, what tools do you use day to day to try to help you feel better, to make you feel like you are worthy of all this and you do deserve all of this and you are good enough? Like, I mean, it was said multiple times during the season that you need to forgive yourself.
Oh, those are hard questions. I don't know. I always like, even in interviews, like when we do it, I'm like, the questions you can tell, like,
makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah. Breathing would be one. I learned breath work. I never knew was like, when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, give me something actual. Like, no, it actually works. Like if it is clinically proven, it calms your nervous system. So you inhale. Exhale, and it like calms everything, and it really does. And I was actually teaching Jessie about that on a day she was having a hard day, and it like is crazy how it calms you. Breath work, but also learning to come back. I call it a spiritual awakening that I had, but like I was a disassociate, I think for a solid 2 years, and like once you're aware, I read the book called The Untethered Soul. You read it?
I don't read. I need to start reading, Taylor.
Listen, if you I clean and I listen to it. Okay, but like.
What is it called again?
The Untethered Soul. And it talks about like your roommate in there talking to you, but also there's yourself too, because you probably know what your roommate is like, you're not good enough. Don't even think it. Like, this is your fault, or you're not actually going to get there. Or it's that person that's like, you're like, like, yeah, you're right. But there's you as well in there. So it's like, be centered, realize in therapy, you also learn about your different parts, and they come up front. Like there's your guilt, there's your anger, there's your whatever, they're all coming. All around the same kind of things. But anyways, it's to remember when you're centered. So when I disassociate, I can be aware of it now. Like, okay, come back. Like you're leaving. You're here again. And my friends would actually start to notice, like, you're actually in conversation with me right now. Like, I can tell you're here.
Yeah.
So they would notice. My family would be like, where are you? Like, they could tell you, where are you?
Yeah.
And so now what I've learned to like how to come back, I think the more therapy work you can notice, like, when she was snapping, I was kind of noticing how it works. And so reading the book, listening, it talks all about acceptance and like processing. Because guess what? We have a way in our head thinking, oh, I want this to go this way and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, you don't control what happens out there. And if you can't accept that it's not going to go your way, you're going to have a very rough life. Or you can accept that it did go this way. There's nothing you can do to change it, and let it pass through. It's really up to you. And he says it clear as day, as like you're listening to the book. It's that simple. Like, do you want to fight it? It's crumbling the way. Do you want to stay caged because you're too scared to love again because you're going to get hurt? Or you're too scared to do this because you don't think you're good enough? Then stay in that cage. It's really, you're limiting yourself. It's like basically a dog he talks about it's the invisible fence they have. Mm-hmm. And because you got zapped, it's like, and the way he explains it is really cool, but it's so true. Because it's like when you go through a heartbreak, you're like, oh, I never want to love again. Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at now, because I'm like, ew, like, that's like the last thing I want to go through. But there's nothing you can do about it. So let it pass through. Feel the pain. Go through it. This hurts. Get on the floor. Freaking cry your eyes out as much as it is. Face it. Look at it. And that's the only way it passes through. So it's like, I feel like a lot of us people, when you're hurt, you're like, nah, too painful.
Don't want to feel it.
Close the door. Not looking at that. But until you do, you're literally, it's going to store and store and store. So that is what I've learned, is just to accept. And when it hurts, let it hurt. This sucks. This hurts. Cry. Like, that's why I'm always crying, I think, because I'm always like, let's process it. But it's really good. And it's taught me so much. And I grew up not crying for anything. So really? Yeah, never. Like, you would ask my ex-husband, Miranda, my mom, very like, no, it looks like emotionless. Yeah. But now I think it's overflowing with emotion. So it obviously went to like extreme, but now I'm trying to like balance it.
Stabilize it. So you think that facility, the wellness center, helped?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it was months work crammed into 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. So obviously it is hard to like say everything because it was just so much information and decision making. You learn, I always forget what it's called. Therapists, even a lot of people out there might know. It's like the poly theory, something, I'm missing the word of it, but it's where you're like in a good headspace and like in a happy time. And then you go to your nervous sympathetic system. And that's when you're kind of like, you're okay, but you're not feeling your best. And then there's like a dark place. And they say to never make a drastic decision in the middle or the below, always like up here, because that's your true self. Okay. So like for me, it's safe to say I make my decisions in a very middle spot right here. I'm like, this pissed me off. I'm actually going to go make a decision now. Like,
very reactive.
Yes, very like instantly reactive. And that's a flaw of mine. So I learned that, like, give it a second before you react, because you might react differently, right? But I also have learned that I'm very forgiving too. Like, I am reactive. I get so heated and I'm like, but then like after a while, I'm like, actually, it's okay. Like, I get it. So yeah, it's that I did not really learn about myself until like kind of the Whitney situation. Like, I've been very like forgiving of the whole situation. Like, she obviously wasn't a fan of me season 1. And then
which didn't make much sense.
I couldn't quite pinpoint it. Yeah. And yeah, same. Like, I was just like, tell me what I did so I at least know and I can try to say sorry without even, I don't think I know what I did. Your feelings are valid. Help me understand it then. And she did. And I don't know if they, it was what, I don't know if they did show all of the conversation, but then she was like, I no longer care to be friends. And I'm like, okay, well, friends are not my top priority right now. I'm so sorry. Like, I will tell that to all of you guys. They're not my top priority. I have a fear also of friendships right now. My family, I'm trying to navigate that, trying to navigate my own self. So I'm sorry that you guys do not come first. And that is like just truth. Like, sorry. And you could say that I wasn't the greatest friend. That's true. Absolutely. I had other things that I was trying to work out. Again, I'm very open, but there's a lot that I'm still not open about, if that makes sense. Like, I don't confide in a lot of people about everything. Again, there's nobody that I do besides my therapist, like I said.
Yeah.
So it is like this weird.
Where does that trust issue come from, you think?
Safety. Like, am I ever safe to say anything? I don't know.
And is that a new feeling? Like, when you were married, did you confide in Tate?
Yeah, but still very, he would tell you, I think if you ever were to have a convo with him, he would say Taylor's sort of closed off.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would tell you the exact same thing, I think, as anyone would. There's like this like closed off version of me, but I'm also open. So it's really weird to, like, when you think about it. I don't really even understand it, but it does take a lot. Like, it took like 6 months for me to entirely open up to my therapist. And she was like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Where is this coming from? Like, I had no idea. Why are you telling me this now? Like, it was just like, it took a lot for me to get there. I don't know. Maybe it was that sort of safety that had to be built in order to do that.
The trust.
Yes. And so, yeah, I don't know. It is weird. I'm like a yapper, but like very private too.
Yeah. Well, because I was there when you guys did the panel with your producer, and he said, like,
oh, yeah, you were there.
To share 99% of your life is what makes good TV. Mm-hmm. But you're saying, you know, there are still parts of you that you have kept to yourself. Mm-hmm. Do you do that subconsciously, or is that on purpose? Like, have you set boundaries of like, I share everything, the good, the bad, but this I'm keeping to myself?
Yeah.
Or is it a subconscious thing where you're not even trying to do it, you're just keeping it to yourself?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I did explain at that event, was like, there's protection for people as well. Like, if I'm honest, then I have to tell the full truth. And then that's where I also want to keep people's respect and privacy for them, you know? So yeah, I am one. There's a time for me. It's like, if anyone does ever want to come out and, like, I'm not going to go into specifics or anything, but if anyone like would want to come out and say like full truths about something, I will literally come out if it were to ruin my own name to tell the full truth. And I've done it, obviously. Swinging Scandal, for example. Like, but I do want to protect people. I would have never came out with the swinging shit had I not had to defend myself to a certain extent. I wouldn't have done it. Like, but I did. So I'm like, but I also still gave them like, I never said names. There was a level of protection still at that point. There's a lot of things I did not say, like, for their privacy. So like, it is like a slippery slope. Like, I'm trying to be as honest as I can while still like help, like, not hurting other people.
Yeah.
So it is really hard. But for my story of what I can share and tell, I will do it.
Yeah. You share it all.
Yeah.
Today's episode is also brought to you by Cove Cleaning. I recently tried a new cleaning company and it has been so amazing. Cove Cleaning has been a game changer for me. They are incredibly easy to work with. Their communication is clear, consistent, and they pay attention to the details. I had mentioned before they came a few specific things and requests, and they followed through on every single one. They've truly made my life easier, and I can't recommend them enough. Whether you're a busy mom, homeowner, or running a business, Cove Cleaning offers expert-level services tailored to your needs, including residential, commercial, construction, and window cleaning. They're a service all over Utah, and they're honestly worth every penny. And they've given Weekly Trash listeners a discount, which is so nice of them and hugely appreciated. So if you want to try Cove cleaning, they are offering all Weekly Trash listeners $75 off their first clean. To get a free quote, visit covecleaning.com, COVECLEANING.com, or fill out the form on their Instagram at Cove Cleaning. Thanks, Cove Cleaning, for sponsoring today's episode.
But there's little things that, like, when you meet me, it's so funny because, like, example, Dakota, like, when he didn't know anything about me, he knew social media, Taylor, and then he meets me, and I'm really not a lot like my social media, which is, I've been told that a lot. You would think I'm very, like, I don't know.
Cocky, you are confident.
Yeah, I was at a time. I don't think I am anymore.
No, you are, but you have a very sweet, gentle energy to you that I think maybe doesn't come across on the screen.
Yeah, I'm very calm and chill.
Yeah.
I don't come off that way. I come off very, I feel like, is erratic the word maybe?
Chaotic.
Yeah. Maybe a bitch. Like, I don't really know. Like, when I hear it all the time, like, you were actually so nice. Like, it's like a shock to people. I'm like, I must come off very, like, bitchy then. But I think it's because the way I go at people, my petty shit. Like, I get that.
The audios you choose.
That too. Yeah. But I'm very, if you approach me, like, I feel like I'm very approachable. I am very calm, I would say. Chill. I just don't, like, he was like, you were nothing like I thought you would be in person. Which was, and I get that all the time in, like, just, like, conversations with people, which I'm like, I would like to see from the outside. Like, what am I missing here? I guess other than maybe you could tell me before you met me.
No, but that's the thing. I think because first time I met you was before TikTok, actually.
Okay, that's true.
And
You're
so
right.
It was different. But I feel like even talking to you now versus when you came 2 years ago, I can see the growth and the change. Just the way you talk. I can feel that you have a sense of calmness to you now.
That's good.
Where I felt like the last time you were in fight mode.
Yeah. Yeah. Flight or fight. For sure. Survival.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still there a little bit.
And you probably are still there a little. But compared to that to now, I can sense it.
The arrogance.
I wouldn't even say it was arrogance.
Really?
No. But there's just a level of, maybe it's humility, but I wouldn't even say that because I think you've been even though you said you weren't a humble person, I do think you were.
Yeah.
At that time when we interviewed 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe prior to that, because that was after the swinging scandal. Maybe before the swinging scandal, that humility wasn't there, but definitely was there after.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've always, I feel like, been nice to everybody. That was, I think, I just wasn't thinking about people's feelings at that time. And, like, that was where it's, like, hard to look at that version of myself because I'm like, whoa, like, how could you not think about everyone else around you, like, their feelings? I don't know. It's not someone I am proud of. Talked about that a lot. But I think there was an episode you did, and it was just, like, obviously for what we do, you have to have some level of narcissism.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I think narcissistic traits, do I have? Absolutely. I think a lot of people have narcissistic, at least one, right?
Of course.
And so I would never deny that. But with that being said, narcissists' biggest things are, one, they don't actually feel empathy typically, or they pretend to. And then another one is they're scared of their image being shown. Those are the two opposite things about me. Yeah. So, like, when people call me a narcissist, I'm like, I don't give a flying fuck what you think about me. Like, show it. Show it to the world. I already know what I'm known for. Horrible things, right? So it's like, I'm not trying to convince anyone otherwise. Like, but a narcissist will.
Yeah.
They'll try to get you to think, like, but this and that, and they don't really feel. So I'm like, I mean, I have some traits. You kind of do. Having to do this, you have to have some level of it, right? Yeah. Like, I would say absolutely I do, but when it comes to a full narcissist, I had to ask therapists though, because I'm like, when you read it online, I'm like, am I a narcissist?
But I think even wondering if you are a narcissist,
that was their first
kind of proves that you're not a narcissist. Because I've even had that thought, like, do I care? Am I a narcissist? Like,
yeah. Well, when you get called it, like, online, I'm like, oh, what am I? I need to fix this. And so I went to I've asked 3 therapists now, different ones. I'm like, okay, what do you think? Like, am I not, like, I need help then? And they're like, narcissists would never ask that. They wouldn't care. They wouldn't care to get help. Probably wouldn't be here. But yeah, all of them checked off now. So I was like, okay, good. At least I got that like marked off, because if
Not
I
a
am
narcissist.
anything I am, I'm like, I want to like help it. Like I don't
Fix
want
it,
to
yeah.
be that. I don't, anything I need to be like called out on, please do. And I've asked my therapist that. If there's something coming, and she did tell me one day, like I came in so upset and I was just like, oh, whatever. Like I was just like being so, I was in ego. I was in ego.
Yeah.
And she's like, what happened today? And I was like telling her, and I'm like, I don't give an F, like whatever. Like, hey, she was just like, okay, we're in ego. So and she like really humbled me again in that moment, which was good, because like when I get angry or really hurt, I will go into ego.
Yeah.
Like whether it helps me. Like, I think I was getting mad about, like, a girl with Dakota, and I was like, fuck this. I was like, have you seen the cover of our show? I was like, have you seen it? I was like, have you seen how good I look? Like, I was
hot.
I was trying to, like, piss him off because I was so hurt. And so I was like, did you see my tits? Like, how good they look? And like, because I knew it would rage him.
Yeah, it would trigger him.
And, like, it comes out of ego, but honestly, at the end of the day, it's just, like, you're freaking hurt inside. Like, and that's what you have to think. When someone acts like that, they're just really hurting. So I have empathy for those people as well, because it comes off of like, ew, but no, I think you're hurt.
Yeah. Speaking of being hurt, in the Mom Talk friend group, we see your guys' friendships off and on. Like, you were hurt by Demi this season.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like you said, you guys are all pretty good at making amends and forgiving. Mm-hmm. And obviously holding on to negative feelings towards someone is also draining and also exhausting. You want to let that go. But is there anything in the friend group that someone could do to you that would make it irreparable?
Yes.
Yes.
Could they? Or did they?
Both.
Oh, yet no.
No. Okay.
No. I will say the moment with Demi, in that time period, I will say, oh, there is no coming back from this.
Well, that's what a lot of you guys will say.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're so in that moment, though, but time heals wounds.
Yeah.
So, of course, those feelings, those emotions, they fade. They absolutely do. And so it's like, you're watching this as if it's now. You have to remember that this is months prior for us. Our emotions have leveled out. People have sat on, and then they watch it, and they're like, oh my gosh, I was horrible. And then they're sorry. And it's like, when someone comes to you and they're like, I am so sorry for the way I treated you. Like, that was not fair. I had no idea you were going behind. Like, people didn't know the barbecue scene. None of my friends saw that, knew about that. And like, so it's like, I had no idea you were going through this. And same for me, for other people. You again, you feel bad and you're like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. And I mean, Demi did do that. She was like, there was a way bigger issue going on for you. Right. And she's like, and I watched like you treating your mom. And she's like, I feel so bad. Like, and so when someone's coming with you with that and saying sorry, like, what do? You're gonna be like, oh, I hate you for saying sorry. No, like, thank you. Thank you for even noticing that. Thank you for saying sorry. It's up to you if you want to accept it or not. And again, this is like a while back. So for me, I'm like, thank you. I forgive you, of course. Also, I've been very in your spot before. Same thing with like Whitney and Demi. Like, she's being very isolated. She's being destroyed on the internet. Who's been there? I have. I can empathize with you that sucks. It's painful. Again, with a show, not full context is there. So like, no matter what, I empathize for her, because I'm like, it's really an isolating, lonely spot of everyone judging you. You get on your phone and you're like, holy shit, the entire world hates me. And it's really heavy for that person that's going through it. So yeah, like, people are like, oh, you forgive too easily, or this is fake, or no, it's just like, for me, I feel for her. If you were to repeat it, wouldn't be good. Like, for me, it's like, if you're going to repeat that over and over again, then you're probably not sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to an extent of like betrayal, things like that, not being petty. I think I will always be petty. I'll just raise my hand and say that now. Like, I think it's funny. I think I've always done it. It's jokingly. I think there's a difference. I've always said this, between a petty girl and a bully. I will stand by that. Because I think it's really funny. And sometimes people do take it to heart, but I don't think it's the same as bullying at all. For me, I think it's supposed to be like a joke.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. Maybe people would disagree with that, but
On the topic of bullying, I have to ask you a question because there's a scene with Whitney and Michaela where Whitney is saying that Michaela's a bully. Mm-hmm. Did you think she was a bully this season?
A bully?
Or was she petty? Because there's a difference.
Petty. I would say petty and very just fed up.
Yeah.
And so I think when you're fed up and you're frustrated with someone, that anger comes out. I can speak from that too.
Yeah.
But I don't think bully. No. I wouldn't say that. Would you?
No, I think it's pettiness for sure.
Yeah. Petty, maybe just too much frustration. You're just not willing yet to deal with it. And when you're kind of hurt over and over and over again, I think she was valid in that.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of emotions with all of you guys, lots of friendship dynamics, lots of, drama. And like you said, it's not scripted. It's real drama. It gets played out different ways, and maybe, producers heighten it up a little bit, but it's real. It's there. Mm-hmm. In the group right now, who are you closest with?
I've always been close with Macy, Michaela. Like, I feel like they're ones that I can, trust. Like, Macy knows. Like, I feel like I've told, her a lot of...
She's probably the one you've confided in the most?
Probably. Yeah, I would say yes. Close with Jessie. The thing is, I'm not besties with any of them. I would say me and Miranda have gotten a lot closer.
Yeah, that was really healing to see your guys' friendship come back together.
Yeah, and we're in the same phase of life right now. So it's like, and even like Layla, like there's going to be more that morph together. I think because of the phase of life we're in, we kind of live closer together. We're both single moms. We both went through the exact same thing. Like there's a lot of commonality there. So me and her voice memo, at night of like, it's 2 a.m. You up? Yep, I'm up. Like, what are you doing? We're cleaning because we have anxiety. And there's just like you're in survival mode. Yeah. Like when you're kind of going through all this is her first time for the show premiering. Yeah. She's having to like learn how to navigate this, and she's feeling the mom guilt of it. And also like, I'm sure mom guilt of like divorce. You put a lot of blame on yourself of like, I did this to my family, and so we can, I think, all relate. Same with Layla in that sense of we're the single moms, and it's really painful because we don't get to go home to somebody at the end of the night. Like, we are taking care of people, and then at night is our only like downtime, and we don't really sleep. Like, but it's this anxiety that you have, and it's really hard. I don't know.
There's no one there that can be the shoulder to cry on.
Yeah.
Because that's what you need. You need that rock in your life. Because reality TV shakes it up. It shakes up your life. And to be able to go home to a rock that's stable, like, you see that, with Macy and Michaela that they have, and I feel like I'm forgetting, and Whitney. There's other married people. I don't want to forget any of the married people.
And to me,
they go home to these stable rocks that they can vent to.
Yeah. And a lot of them are good men.
Yeah.
They're good. Yes, they're good men.
So that's a really hard thing to do. But do you feel like you and Miranda could ever go back to being best friends again?
Definitely. Yes, I would.
You said you're not best friends with anyone right now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like they did this vote thing. I'm definitely the most unreliable because I'm usually like, I'm the worst at responding. Yeah. So yes, I would agree with that. And Jen's kind of the same way. Like, we're very like arm's length. We're going to cry in our closet by ourselves. Yeah. Some of the others are very like, let's go out to eat. Let's get some food and cry together. Let's talk. I'm not that way. So, I'll cry on my phone and show it to the world. For me, that's actually, my therapist said that's like an outlet. She's like, that is the most I've seen you like actually show and share your emotion. That's an outlet for you. Yeah. Use it. Like, and
it's probably a lot easier to do it by yourself with a screen than with two of your best friends.
Yes, because I'm not
It's not as vulnerable. You don't have to, even though it's more people seeing it on the screen, it's not there. It's not happening right there. It's not as like invasive.
Yeah. Almost. And you're not getting any opinion back. You're just like, this is how I feel, whatever, throw it out there and hope for the best. Like, it's not hard when you're also crying all the time. Like, they're like, set up your phone. It's not like I sit there and I'm like, it's like, I'm already bawling. All it is, smack that thing on your thing and just like talk and do a video. Like, it's really not that hard. It's the same thing when you're super happy about something. Why can't you do another emotion on a phone?
That's true.
Like, and you're happy, you're like,
never thought of it like that.
Guess what? Like, we're going to go do this. I'm super excited because it's a different emotion. It's weird. No, it makes you uncomfortable because there's something in you that's uncomfortable about it. Like, it's an inner thing. It's really not that weird. Like, when I watch people talk about a story and they're crying, and you can tell it's like their real emotion. I love that.
It's genuine.
It's genuine. Like, if you can do all the other emotions, why can't you be sad? It makes you uncomfortable because there's something in you that feels uncomfortable. Period.
Sorry to interrupt, but today's episode is brought to you by Spearmint Love. Mamas, have you seen the latest drop from Spearmint Love? Their new floral collection is here, and it's absolutely stunning. Think matching sunsuits and dresses made just for baby girls all the way up to 6 years old. Perfect for brunch with the fam, the upcoming outdoor wedding, or a sunny day at the beach. We're talking picture-perfect florals that instantly elevate her look without breaking the bank. Soft, breathable fabrics, thoughtful details, and styles that move with your little one. Because cute shouldn't mean uncomfortable. So if you want her to feel like a little flower queen this season, check out spearmintlove.com and grab your favorites before they bloom away. You can use code WeeklyTrash at checkout for an exclusive discount. Thank you, Spearmint Love, for sponsoring today's episode.
Anyways, the question was,
Miranda, do you think you guys could be best friends again?
I think we could be very close. I think we're in, she's probably hesitant for sure. Like, if I tell Taylor, does this go to the world? Right?
Yeah.
Completely valid. And so I think there's probably like a little bit of like fear in that. But yeah, I think we could definitely get super close again. Best friends. It is hard when you're a mom. I feel like for me, like, and us as co-parents, we're sharing our kids.
Yeah.
So to be best friends with, like, Macy and Michaela have a really cute, good best friend relationship. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it as much as they do, as often. It's not, I've done it. Didn't end well for us, obviously. It's like my priority right now is like my kids, and I can't do it right now, but maybe one day down the road when I have more of that like flexibility, sure. But I think Miranda would even agree, like, if we were sitting here talking, that our kids are like, I'd rather spend time with them than anyone else because I have to share them.
And that's really hard.
So very close, but best friends with anybody, not right now.
Got it.
But that doesn't mean like I am not wanting to.
For sure.
I just can't maintain it, if I'm being honest.
You're not in a point in your life where you have the capacity to give that much attention to that many people.
Yeah, or even one person.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like, let's go get Taco Bell tonight. Or like, let's take a drive. I can't. I have my baby tonight. Like, my baby's always there. I can't.
Yeah.
You can. They did try to bring Taco Bell to me one night when I was the day about Jenna. Like, I found out. Macy's like, okay, we're gonna stay here. We're gonna eat. I'm like, oh, I'm going home. I'm going home to cry. They showed up and I was like, and they're like, we're coming over. I was like, don't come over. Like, please, please, please. I have to just cry. They came over with Taco Bell and I'm like, I'm not letting you guys in, but thank you so much for the Taco Bell. And I shut the door.
Like, you like to be alone.
Yeah, like I cannot function. I can't talk. Like, for me, I'm like, it's too much. Like, again, like, I just have to cry. Yeah, I can't do it. But after I can. Like, I just need to cry first.
You just need that moment.
Yeah.
Like, regulate your emotion.
How do you do it?
See, I need to be by
someone.
Really?
Okay, so see, it's so crazy.
I need to have
Explain
people
that to me.
comforting me. But I also think I haven't gone through even a fraction of the experiences that you've gone through. If I found out anything was going on in my marriage or things like that, I don't know how maybe I would want to be alone. I think the bigger the issue, maybe the more you do need to be by yourself to have a minute.
Yeah.
But all of mine, like, I had a miscarriage and what I wanted was people around me.
Okay.
In that time.
Yeah. I think I remember you talking about how long ago was it?
It was in between Brooks and Banks. So my two boys. So it was 3 years ago.
Oh, wow. So you do know.
Yeah. And I felt like I wanted people around me. Did you want people around you during that time or when you had your pregnancies, or did you want to be by yourself?
By myself, but I was also in shame because I just got pregnant with a new boyfriend post-divorce. Yeah. Like,
see, that's the thing. Like, all the things you've been through have been so much bigger and in a way more horrific than anything that I've been
not
through.
Even bigger. No, because a miscarriage is a miscarriage.
For
At the end of the day, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing, but your scenarios are just a lot harsher, I feel like.
Yeah, well, I'm like, obviously you were married.
Yeah.
And probably not embarrassed by that because it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Right? And again, like, for me, I think it was more, for mine was shame and embarrassment. Like, of like, I got pregnant. Like, I just did this. So yeah, it's like, it's more kind of like the emotion it comes with. So same tragedy. I think for me, there was a lot of shame in there. Yeah. So yeah, it does. Yeah. I guess there would be different probably reactions because I mean, there'd be no reason for you to feel embarrassed by that.
Yeah.
or shame.
I think everyone experiences their grief differently.
Oh, for sure.
They have their, and that's why you can't judge anyone either. Like,
yeah.
Until
like, you're in their shoes.
Like, I would never do this if I was going through. Well, you might not, but like, everyone is so different in that way. Mm-hmm. And even when your mom came on, she said, like, you telling the whole world about your sex life isn't something everybody else would do, but like, that's what you did. And that was good for you in that moment. And it also, you want to be honest. Yeah. And some people are okay with not being honest about certain things. Yeah. And they're okay with dying with secrets. Mm-hmm. And you catch me as someone who doesn't want to die with any secrets.
No. And I literally won't. Like, that's the thing is like, that's a scary thing with me. I think that most people know is I will ruin my own image to get the full truth out there if I have to. So it's like, if you want to cross me in like a dirty way, I will literally ruin myself to make sure that the truth is out there. And that's like that, not that that's what people are after. I think just when you're not thinking about it in the meantime of like you're doing something like that or someone's doing something behind my back or does me dirty and like no, like
watch your back.
Yeah, like I'm literally gonna say everything even if it ruins me.
Yeah And you're sober.
Yeah. Oh yes, sober still 3 years now,
because you had your craziest moments not sober.
Yes.
And now you're sober and you still have that mindset of I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your brain is clear because you're sober? Do you think you can think things through better? Do you feel different?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Obviously, definitely more clear-minded. I think it's been 3 years now over that.
That's amazing.
It happened in 2023, was it? So what are we? Yeah, 3 years. Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, definitely more clear-headed. I will say there's growth because there has been things where I'm like, I'm literally going to destroy this person. Yeah. And I haven't. So I like put thought in there. And
Baby
I was like,
steps.
Yes. I'm just like, okay, are we going to react? Or are we going to actually we're going to think about this? Like, so there has been some growth for sure. Or I'm like, is it worth it? Or actually I empathize with you because in order to do something like this, like you have to be a hurt person. Yeah. There's just different ways I look at it other than like, oh, they were out to get me.
Yeah. With being sober though, do you see that as a lifelong commitment for you now?
I'm a person that says I never say never. Like, is that the goal? Sure. But I am one that will never like say never for anything, honestly. Like I was joking the other day, like talking to my friends and I'm like, never say never. Like I never say that I wouldn't swing again. Like it was literally joking, but like I wouldn't. By the way,
that's one that you would never do again.
Would never do. Clearly, like gosh, damn, I ruined my entire life. And again, my kids. Let's think about my children. Like,
like alcohol also kind of ruined your life there for a minute. Like you said, like that was a big trigger. So it's like
that one I think obviously was ruining my life to the extreme. It wasn't. Yeah, because I think people that drink out there, they have a glass of wine, like some of my friends do, and call it a night. I think like that there was no control for me. Obviously, when I was going to drink, I was drinking to numb out. Do you think that was the issue?
Because I know your dad struggled with alcoholism, addiction, and so did your mom's dad.
Mm-hmm. So it runs in my blood. Yeah.
Do you feel like you had an addiction? Do you feel like it was a problem?
Problem, yes. Addiction, no. Because for me, I can cold turkey just be like, I'm good.
Okay.
Like when people ask me, was it hard to be sober? What are you thinking about it? Craving about it? Did I think about it? Sure. I'm like, oh, this would be a nice night to like just relax. But no, it was never like, oh my gosh, I have to have this. I have to have
You weren't craving it.
Yeah. An addiction is where you're like, I need it. Like for me, there's never been that.
And you even say you have fixations. So the fact that you weren't fixated on it says a lot.
Yeah. I wouldn't even think twice. Yeah. For me, like it, in that sense of like craving it. Have I thought about it? Yes. Obviously that would be crazy to be like, oh, I've never thought about alcohol. Yeah. No, I've thought about it, but not in a sense of like, I need it. Like that's an addiction where you're like, you need it. I didn't ever need it. I think I had a problem because I would run to that when I was hurting. That's the problem. That wasn't like an addiction. It was more like times in my life where I was hurting, I would like abuse the substance of meaning like I'd go in and take full shots because I was hurting. That's a problem, clearly. But an addiction, no. So I think people have definitely thought like I had an addiction problem.
Yeah.
No, that was very like social based.
When you were in like a dark time and that was kind of your form of medicating.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah. Found other ways now. Medication.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We were on our meds. What do you want for yourself in the future? Like, what do you wish for yourself? Do you want marriage? Do you want more babies? Do you want this show to go on for the rest of your life? Like, what does Taylor Frankie Paul want?
That's honestly a really hard question because I feel like I'm in a limbo phase right now where I'm like, sorry, I keep hitting.
No, you're fine.
I literally ask myself that sometimes as I'm like crying on the phone, like, what do I want in like a fantasy? If I were just to shoot it out there, yes, to be married to a man that like I know is my rock, and I will never be in a relationship again where I have to like check your phone. If I have to even wonder or ask, I won't do it. If I even get the slightest of slight feelings, actually, aside from this, what I did learn throughout all of this is I don't even want to call it like a gift, but my intuition is so spot on and very specific of like what I'm feeling is very accurate. Like too many things have happened. I'm like, oh my gosh, I knew that. The very exact thing, like the very exact person, the time, everything. It's weird. And so, that I learned about myself is that when that voice is there telling me, it's true. So, with that being said, like in my next relationship, I will know if that person is off or on for me. Like it'll be very instant, like feeling, probably not when I'm dating them. Right. But yeah, is it for me or not? I'll know. That is what I would want. I would want another baby. I don't know if I want 3 baby daddies though. So that's like, obviously like, I don't know. It's funny that I would say this, but like when I would visit Idaho, that was such a different lifestyle and like where it's more quiet. The kids are outside playing all day. Yeah. They're catching frogs. It's like, it was a life I would have wanted to live for sure. Like, I think I could even have came back, filmed reality TV and went back and like lived quietly. Like that's what I would have done had we ended up together. And I would have been all for that. Moving, probably not because I'd co-parent, but I mean like be distant. I'd be okay with that. Like I see the videos on TikTok where their dog's running around their big yard and they're at home and not necessarily like a trad wife, but like more quiet.
Yeah,
like
quiet life.
Yeah, I could do that. And I think that is where I'll feel the most peace and like being home with my children. Like that's a life I desire. Obviously not in the works right now. And I'm a single mom. I have this opportunity. I'm going to take it and I'm going to ride with it as long as it goes. Like, yeah. Do I think it's going to be harder to find someone in this field? Absolutely. I'd like that. To me, I can't imagine like dating someone and knowing their intentions or. Yeah. So, but I'm also not in any rush to date. So like, I'm not really worried about it. I'm taking it day by day. But Fantasyland, that is like a life I could have or would have wanted to live. Yeah. Things change though.
Things change. And who knows, maybe the next time you're sitting here, you'll have a property in the middle of Camas, Utah, and you'll have your dogs, everyone's running around. But like you said, finding someone in this line of work that you're in now and their intentions and the kind of person they are. Have you had any celebrities, male celebrities in your DMs where you're like, maybe I'll just try this out for fun, but like it's not actually going to go anywhere? Because you are single. Like, yeah, maybe live it up.
Yeah, there has been a couple and I've never opened them.
Okay.
Never opened them. Yeah.
What's your type?
Very specific. Like it wouldn't be hard. Like if you know me, you would be like, that is Taylor's type. Kind of like a pretty boy, but in a manly way. Okay. I don't even know how to describe it.
We can look at your exes and
kind of like put them.
We can get the vibe.
Yeah, like Tate is like very obviously like pretty boy, like, but Dakota is also pretty boy, but in like a country way. Yeah. So that's kind of my type. But if you were to look at all of them, all the guys like I've ever like been interested in, they all look pretty much the same. Okay. But I feel like as I've gotten older, I definitely that more manly country vibe is like.
That's what you're into. So the single country singers out there, hey, country boy, country. But that's the thing. Would you want to date somebody that's famous?
I've been recommended that it's like the best thing to do because they can almost like relate in a sense of like the work.
Yeah.
And they're not after your fame because if they're already,
they have their own.
Yeah, that's not their intention there. But at the same time, how many do we see that last? Like for that long? Rare that we see that. So I'm like, I don't know. That's why it's going to be so weird to date again. Not that I even want to. It sounds miserable to start out. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color?
What's your, no, like that's where you start with something.
Oh, I was like, are you asking me what my favorite color is? I thought that was like a technique to get you to stop crying. I thought you were about to start crying. And
no.
So I thought you were like, what's your favorite color? To like distract yourself. I was like, my favorite color? Pink.
Yeah, I could have guessed that, honestly.
No, but like, I get it. Like having to start over, having to have those conversations again. It's not fun.
Or you could be completely played. Like, again, and have another heartbreak. And I'm like, it just sounds miserable. So... yeah, I don't know when I'll find myself dating all my friends. Like, we can't wait for you to date.
Taylor's dating era. Single dating Taylor. But yeah, right now focusing on your mental health, your kids, and just having stability in your life, I'm sure is a huge thing for you right now.
And I don't know how you would build a relationship doing this. Where's the time?
No, you guys are so busy.
I wouldn't have time to have a boyfriend, like ever. Like doing this, where?
Well, and then you have, you know, what Layla found herself in, where it's like you have a boyfriend and it's like, well, if I'm working and I need to have a boyfriend, then you need to also be in the show with me. And who knows what will happen there, you know?
Yep.
So it's a hard spot to be in navigating dating life.
Yeah.
And that's nice that you, Miranda, Layla have that in common.
Thinking of who else.
I'm like, is there another? I'm like trying to think, who else is single? There's so many of you. That's the other thing. The cast is huge.
Yeah.
It's really big. Would you be open to more members in Mom Talk?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to join?
Yeah, I'm going to join.
I'm going to join. Should. I told them, I was like, we should bring some more in.
No, you're right. You have so many. I don't know how they would be able to keep track of everybody.
Do you think that your mental health could take it?
I think no one's mental health can take it.
True.
I think everybody who's doing the show will have moments where they hit lows, really, really big lows.
Yeah.
And then they'll have really big highs too.
True.
And you just have to go into it knowing like you're not going to be able to handle it. There is no, I'm sorry. I don't think there's any person who can handle millions of people either loving you or hating you back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That is a mind fuck.
For sure.
And we saw it with you. People hate you and now they love you, you know, with the swinging thing. We saw it with Whitney. We hate Whitney. Now we love Whitney. We saw it with Demi. We love Demi. Now we hate Demi. Like,
yeah, it messes with you.
I don't think anyone's mental health can handle that.
No.
You just got to sign up for it and be okay with the fact that you're going to have some really fucking shitty days.
Yeah. And honestly, I think like I don't know. I think obviously you over time we'll be able to tell the ones that like can do it and cannot. Because I think eventually it gets there a point that I cannot
filters
do
them
this.
out.
Yeah.
It filters them out.
Yeah.
Is there anyone on the show that you think is as, or maybe you think everyone is as open and honest and vulnerable as you?
No. No. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That is okay. You're probably smart.
Well, and a lot of them have their marriages to protect.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like you, Miranda, and Layla are in a specific situation where you don't have to protect that side of yourself, which gives you more freedom to be honest. But even at that, like you're still saying, no, I'm 100% the most vulnerable, honest one.
I would say the most, obviously, but like I said before, there are parts that I don't share due to people's privacy. So yeah, there is like, I don't 100% share every single thing. No. But do I share a lot more? I would say, yeah, absolutely. Like, and maybe they don't have like a lot to share. And that's great. Like if you don't have a lot of issues to share, I wish I was you. Yeah. I honestly do. Like that's great. So, yeah, I definitely, I have a lot to share, but I feel like for them, if they don't have it, then I feel that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing with reality TV is some seasons, someone's going to bring the storyline. Like some seasons you're going to take the back seat and you get to eat the popcorn while you watch the other friend go through hell for the show. Like, and that's how it goes.
I know, honestly, like I thought like, coming up, I was like, oh, this is my turn to sit down and relax.
You're like, I'm gonna be chill. No, you needed a season where you got to show some sass because you were pregnant season 1 and you were just hanging on.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I want my seat. I want a turn to just be like the friend that like helps and like sits there and like, hey, how can I help you today? You know,
the Macy.
Yes, yeah, she has it, I think, great where she can just help everyone and healthy.
Healthy looking lifestyle. Everything looks pretty.
Yeah, and I don't want to obviously speak for her because you never know behind closed doors she could
For sure.
struggle. But I think for the most part, she is very level-headed.
Yeah.
And I think obviously she has a really healthy marriage as far as I know. It looks healthy. I mean, it's healthy.
Yeah. She has no one in Mom Talk that she's paired up against.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everyone is cordial with her.
Yeah. Honestly, she has a very good spot. I would love to be in one day. Maybe we'll get there. Probably not. But yeah. So I think there could be spots where we all get that turn. I don't know. I'm waiting for mine.
I don't know. I don't know if your life, there are people in this world who I think attract good storylines, attract chaos. And I think you're one of them. I think Jesse's one of them. I think your guys' lives should be books.
It's the Geminis in our group.
It is the Gemini.
Jen, Jesse, and myself.
Yeah. It's chaotic, but it's great TV.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that we were like kind of the most chaotic, but we're all the Geminis.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Gemini season, baby.
Scary, honestly.
But no, I know that you said that, you're still in the thick of it, but how do you feel today? How are you feeling right now?
My tolerance is stretched. So I feel like I can take on a lot and I'm okay. Like where I used to put me on the floor and not able to even have a conversation.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm able to tolerate it. Things happen. I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's do this again. All
right. Well, I can't wait to see what next season, if there's a next season, who knows? Who knows?
It's out there. It's already out there.
Okay, good. I would assume so. There's so many things. That's the other hard thing with being reality TV is like the NDAs and like your personality. And I'm the same way. It's like, you want to confront things right when they happen.
Yeah.
Is that so hard to have to be like, I have to hold on to this?
Yes.
That would kill me.
Yeah, obviously I do because I do my little like
I'm
coming for you
little like, Easter eggs. Like, let me give you a little sneak peek.
People hate it, and I'm like, well, I can't. Like, literally can't do it.
You gotta have an outlet of letting just a little bit out.
Yeah, it's hard for sure, and like obviously, like even when you do certain interviews and stuff, like you have to still like you can't give like the actual current update. So it is like you start to learn, obviously, but eventually you'll get to know. So
everyone will get to know eventually.
Yeah.
Don't you worry, guys. Don't you worry.
I know. And it has been already said that, season 3, we did get it. So we're able to say that, though.
Heck yeah.
I had to ask on that.
You're like, let me double check really quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before I let you go, you need to pick a topic from that trash can, and we're both going to answer it. Little trash topican.
Oh, I'm scared.
Hopefully you can read the handwriting. Your mom didn't have her readers and she was like trying to. It was so funny.
Oh my gosh. She always does that. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Oh, and I'm sure you get a lot of advice lately.
You go first.
The best advice I've ever received is don't take, or don't listen to the opinions of other people that you wouldn't ask advice from. So if I wouldn't ask for someone's advice, I shouldn't care what their opinion is.
Yeah, I like that actually a lot.
It helps in this industry for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, oh, you don't like me? Well, I would never ask you for your opinion or your advice.
Or switch you spots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually love that. The best advice. Okay, so this is probably one I've got in therapy of like, give yourself grace for that time and period and that version of you because you only knew what you only knew and you only had the tools. You only had what you had. So basically meaning I'm really hard on myself of 2022 version and I'm like barely like able to give any grace, but it's like I also had never been through something traumatic and also back to back. So I had no tool of like, what do I, like I couldn't navigate, I couldn't process it. And so it's like, give yourself grace for like being able to, you only knew what you knew at that time and that's okay.
I love that.
So.
And I hope you believe that because if you were to have that same situation right now, you wouldn't have that situation because you would have never put yourself in that situation right now because of who you are and what you know. And you've got to forgive yourself.
Yeah. It is hard, but yeah.
It is hard. Sure. But it is an internal battle that only you can fight.
It's true. We're getting there, though. Making progress. Little steps.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. I love you. Thanks for letting me dumpster deep dive the last 2.5 years. I cannot believe it's been that long.
I know.
So much has changed. You are so famous. Next time, I
still don't even say
that's
that.
The crazy thing. I'm like, this might be the last time I ever even get a chance to talk to Taylor. She's going to have she's going to have so many different cell phone numbers. You're going to have to talk to her people to get a hold of her people. Like even your producer was like, there are a few people who have this star quality, like the Kim Kardashian star quality. And you do have that. Even if you don't think you do, you do. And so I am excited. I'm nervous because it's a lot to have on your shoulders, this fame, but I'm excited for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And honestly, I really actually don't understand it. I'm like, am I a car accident you can't help to look at? Like, that's what I think it is. Like, don't look, like, no. But you're like slowing down to like make sure you look.
Like, no, people love you. You are
messy.
You're messy, but you're great. And I hope you know that you're great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for even having me again.
Taylor, you can come back any damn time you want.
I'm so proud of you. Look at you.
You.
You've had literally everyone on, especially in Utah. You've had like seriously the top of the top.
Utah's the bubble. I don't know how they didn't start a reality show sooner because
there's a couple now.
I know. But let's be honest. Secret Lies of Mormon Wives is the best one.
Well, yes.
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is quaking. They're like, oh, crap. We need to step it up.
Yeah.
We need to step it up. Because it's true. Like the age of people watching Secret Lies of Mormon Wives are the age of TikTok and Instagram. And they're the ones that get things popular.
Yeah.
And so it's only a matter of time before, I mean, you already are #1 show on Hulu.
It's crazy to me. I don't even grasp the concept at all.
It is so weird watching the screen. I was telling you this before. It feels like I'm watching my friends on like a vlog on YouTube or something.
That's what we thought.
But I'm like, no, holy shit, this is Hulu. Like people all over the world are seeing this.
And it's crazy like that guys like it. No, that's what gets me.
Yeah.
I'm like like these missionaries about to go on their mission came up. They're like, we love your show. And I was like, you watched our show? Yeah. It's crazy because most guys don't really get in. Well, as far as I know, that much reality TV. Yeah, they're not like crazy about it. But the older men, the old grandpas that watch it, I'm like, what is happening? Like, it's weird to me. I don't understand it. But hey, I'm like, hey.
Well, and it's interesting. I feel like season 1, people were so nervous about the title and bringing Mormonism into it. And my mom, who is a very devout Mormon, she was like, you know, I'm not going to lie. They have a very accurate representation of Utah Mormon culture. Like it is, whether you want to say it is or not, like this is accurate. And you are showing that like, you're just like everyone else. Like Mormons aren't weird. They're not better than anyone. We all have trash. We all have things.
But we pretend we don't.
Literally.
That's the key.
But not you.
No, I definitely accidentally told people's trash. And that's where it got messy.
You're the queen of trash. You could take my title any day.
I'm white trashy.
You did get called trashy, which I told you. You are not trashy, Taylor.
I did get called that a couple times now. So.
No, well, if you are trash, you're hot trash. Okay?
I'll take it.
All right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Everyone, give Taylor a big virtual hug. We love her. Have the best week, you guys. And don't forget to take out your trash. Bye.